Welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Now, I told you that we were going to have you back just before Prime Time Live hits the air. And before we talk about that, we've got a bone to pick with you about your son, Nikko. What is going on with him?
You know, he got hit over the head with that bottle. And he's been laying down and in quarantine. I hadn't seen him much. He came over to the house. Then he started saying all kinds of goofy stuff. And then he went to work. We all went back to work. And I don't know where his head's at.
Well, he got a heck of a beatdown from Killer Bay, Heather Monroe, and Houston Body. How's he doing after that beatdown?
Man, I don't know. I haven't talked to him. He just took off in the car after the show. And I haven't really spoke to him. I know he's not coming to Prime Time Live. I don't know if that has to do with Heather being there or not in Halston, but I know he will not be at the Thunder Studios.
Now,
he told me that.
That's probably a good thing considering the things that he's been saying about the women's division. But I digress. I brought you on here because we want to talk about United Wrestling Network Prime Time Live, and I can't believe it. We've been talking about it for a minute, but it premieres tomorrow. How nervous are you?
Man, I honestly am. Most people know me to be kind of cool and reserved for the most part, and just take things how they come. But I have jitters. This isn't my first live broadcast by any stretch of the imagination, but there's an awful lot riding on this. This is sort of my Disneyland in 1955 for Walt Disney. This is a big deal.
Yeah, I bet. A lot laying out on the line, but man, you've been making announcements over the past several weeks. And is there, let me just ask you a question here. This is half joking. Is there some sort of partnership with the NWA?
Yeah, no, for sure. Billy Corrigan, myself, his staff, our staff, we've been working really hard together to get this going. I think we've created a fantastic premiere card. It's the all-stars of pro wrestling. There's an open door policy. You hear that a lot in wrestling, or you used to hear that a lot in wrestling, that people could come and go as they please. But we're really trying to make that a reality with Primetime Live. So you might see a promotion on there that is not really well known, like West Coast Pro Wrestling. They have a title match on that program where Hammerstone will be meeting EJ Sparks from our Championship Wrestling from Arizona broadcast. To upwards of maybe New Japan Pro Wrestling, maybe Ring of Honor, maybe AEW. So the door is wide open for everybody to participate in this all-star spectacular.
That's right. We're talking to United Wrestling Network's very own David Marquez. Yeah, you mentioned Hammerstone. He's going to be defending his title against EJ Sparks. The United Television Championship, Dan Joseph will be defending that against Levi Shapiro. And if that wasn't enough, it was the return last week or 2 weeks ago of the 10 pounds of gold, the series from the NWA, which there was a big challenge, man. We have not seen Mike Bennett since his days of Mike and Maria on WWE. And by the way, I was a big fan of that. Even my Maria laughed at those promos. Very entertaining stuff, but man, he's got a serious side to him. So you've got the NWA World Championship on the line. That's 3 title matches. How long is this program?
It's 90 minutes.
Okay.
Live.
Now, one of the things that I'm a big fan of is the broadcast teams. And over the past couple of days, you guys have been announcing the broadcast teams and posting pictures and things like that. Officially right here, who's going to be sitting at the desk?
Well, you're going to have Todd Kennelly, of course.
Of course.
And Alicia Marino.
Yes.
They'll be at the desk. She was on our program before. You might remember her as Kathy Campanelli.
Yep.
But she went, as most people know, she went to the WWE and was a broadcaster on NXT and was furloughed. And in that furlough time, she has decided to come back and join our broadcast.
Very, very cool. Now, I saw Joe Galley's name out there as well, and he's one of my favorites just personally. How will Joe be a part of that program as well?
Well, what we're going to be doing is, so Joe, I'm not sure if the listeners know this, Joe is an actual real newsman. He's a news reporter for, I believe, an NBC and Fox station in San Antonio, Texas. So his schedule doesn't allow him to be live with us in Los Angeles, but he can join us periodically throughout the show on Zoom or Skype. So Joe will be filing reports and whatnot, and he'll be on the broadcast. It's just that he won't be there with us live in the studio.
Very, very cool. I love that. Now, with all of this stuff going on, the return to live action, United Wrestling Network's Prime Time Live, all the matches, all the broadcasters, all the guys that you're bringing back together for this, is there one thing that you can put at the top that you're most excited about?
This is going to probably sound a little hokey, but just getting back to entertaining people, just getting back to doing something that will take all of our minds off of the pandemic. And even though it's not going to be totally taken off because we're still walking around the studios in masks and stuff,
right,
when we're not performing in the ring. But really looking forward to bringing everybody together, the fans and the talent included, not just us, and trying to create that electric hearth again where people can gather around and watch something on Tuesday nights. You know, there is other wrestling on Tuesday nights. That's not a secret. But we're really hoping. You hear people say all the time that they want an alternative to WWE or something. Although I like WWE myself, it's just, you know, this show by design is a true alternative. I believe the matchmaking, the card. If you look at it, we tried to do the matchmaking like a UFC or a top-ranked boxing show where, you know, you could have several titles represented. You can have, of course, there'll be grudges, and of course, there'll be animosity and that kind of stuff. But we feel that we've created a scenario where, you know, anybody can come in, doesn't matter what title you hold. It could be with another company, whatever. And it's just for the best entertainment possible. So that's what I'm excited about, is just getting back to entertaining.
It's not me being a company guy either. I mean, literally what you're saying is exactly true. I mean, you have Thunder Rosa, the NWA Women's World Champion, that's going to be a part of this. She also is defending the title on AEW on national television.
That's right.
That's huge. Camille is undefeated in the NWA and hasn't been beaten, and she's squaring off against Killer Bay Heather Monroe, who also appears on AEW. We've already mentioned Hammerstone, Dan Joseph, EJ Sparks, you know, Mike Bennett. This thing is like the who's who, and I hate to say of independent pro wrestling, but that's what it is. It's the who's who of independent pro wrestling, and it's a true alternative.
Yeah, and then, you know, the championship wrestling type matches that are on there that'll be featured. You're going to see the Wolf Zaddies taking on the Tribe. Those are two big tosses of teams.
Now hold on a second, Dave. Hold on a second, Dave. You know I love the Wolf Zaddies.
Yeah, so the Wolf Zaddies are on there with the Tribe, Hawaiian Lion, and Navajo Warrior, who are staples in Arizona on our programming there. And then I think what may end up being the match of the night, and not being biased at all, is Jordan Clearwater will be taking on Will All Day. So
yeah,
I think that's going to be a sleeper of a match, especially with the fan base that's coming in that might be new to the United Wrestling Network. They're going to see some talent that, you know, much like Zicky Dice was discovered by the NWA from Hollywood programming. Same thing with Joe Galley and many others. D-Man, Dan Parker. You know, they all came from our championship wrestling programming. So my goal here is so that we're going to feature people, and whether it's AEW, whether it's Billy Corgan, whether it's New Japan, whether it's AAA or CMLL, you know, hopefully they'll see these talents and say, boy, we need them on our programming.
Absolutely. Now, this is a shoot. Like, literally, I bought my Fight TV package. I went and I paid. They actually gave me money back to buy more programming. So I bought the first 4 episodes on Fight TV on the app. It was very easy to do. Quickly, just tell us where else we can find it other than Fight TV, and any of the prices, because last time we talked, the prices were still in the air, and I know there are going to be some people that listen that are like, hey, how much does it cost? Even though it's all over the place. Just give us the rundown.
I know in Canada, it is $12 across cable and satellite up there. In Mexico and the Caribbean, I don't know the title and the amount, unfortunately. I've been trying to get it. The show is broadcasted in Spanish, by the way, which I'm very happy about. It's going to be a simulcast. And in the U.S., it's being distributed by In Demand. So the same way you watch WrestleMania or SummerSlam Slam or All In. It's the same people. So wherever you see that on your television with cable and satellite, DirecTV, Dish Network, whatever your local cable provider is, it's on there as well. And I believe it's $11.99 in the US across television.
Okay. And I bought all 4 episodes for only $23.99, and they gave me $2 back. So that's a heck of a deal on Fight TV. So wherever you are,
it's a great deal. If you just want to try it out real quick, it is $7.99 per episode if you don't have the ability to pay for, the $20-some a month. So it's there if you want to taste it.
Very, very affordable. Before I let you go, Dave, you always have something going on. There's always something cooking. Is there anything else we need to be on the lookout for? Or is this all United Wrestling Network Prime Time Live?
Well, we have Prime Time Live, Championship presented by Pro Shingle, of course, new programming there. We have new stations across the country carrying the syndicated version of the show. Arizona is going back into production, I believe, in the next 3 weeks. We'll be shooting that in Los Angeles. We're in talks once again to produce the Silver State program in Las Vegas, probably without an audience for a while, on our affiliate there, the CW / My LV TV in Las Vegas. So that's what we're sort of working on for the long term. But when it comes to Primetime Live, one of the things that I guess I'm giddy about is that, something like the Red Carpet Rumble or the Percy Pringle Cup or a Coastline Clash, and who knows what other NWA special events that we might be able to create one-offs and put them on pay-per-view like they were meant to be. Not just specials for your local broadcast, something that'll make it way more spectacular and things that we can get away with on pay-per-view that we can't get away with on broadcast TV. I mean, Chris Dickinson's going to be there. Like, you can't turn your head when that guy's around.
All right, wrapping things up here, Dave. I really appreciate the time. You are definitely the busiest man that I know. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes to talk to us.
Anytime to speak to my friends in Memphis. I'm happy about that.